Greetings, the Astro 30 here yet again, and welcome to AEL. Today I've got a brand new remote which came from China. It took about 3 weeks to get here. This is for the Denon AVR-1312, which I did in a previous video. And I got the remote because I want to actually test the rest of the functionality of the unit, because a lot of the stuff is not accessible on the front panel. And I've read the manual to the amplifier, and it does have like tone controls on it, bass, treble, etc. As well as front, left and right level adjustments, and I'm assuming the rest of the channels do too. So in order to access all that sort of stuff, you need the remote. Now this is a replacement remote, it's not the original remote. And I have noticed that the tuning up and down buttons for the tuner aren't on the remote, which may prove a slight problem. However, there's also another problem with this remote, so let's get it out of the bag and I'll show you what the problem is. There's something rattling around inside of it, probably broken bits of plastic. Let's see if I can get them to come out. Yeah, broken bit of plastic. One bit fell out, but there's still another bit in there. There it goes. No more rattle. Perfect. Okay, so with those bits of broken plastic removed, they look like they've actually broken clean off of whatever it was connected to. It could be left over from manufacturing, or it could have been dropped and it's broken, but regardless, it doesn't rattle anymore, which is good because that was going to be annoying otherwise. So let's have a look at what we got here. We've got a separate on and an off button, which is interesting. The original Denon remote did too. DVD, VCR, iPod, input, select, video auxiliary extension in. And there's a lot of other functions on here which I don't think the amplifier supports, like it doesn't have a CD input, it doesn't have a CDR/tape input or an auxiliary. So these buttons probably will not do anything. We've got the volume up, down button, the setup button, which I'm assuming is for the menu, dimmer for the display, some other buttons here like status, I think switches the front panel display information around. Test button, don't know what that does. And D inputs, I'm assuming digital inputs, etc. Yeah, and you got surround select and channel up and down for the radio. So, oh, and the iPod control down here. I don't have an iPod, so I can't actually test the functionality of that, but what I need to do is I need to find some batteries, put it in, and then we can hook the amplifier up. Right, I found some batteries. They're different, they're not the same. I don't have two the same, so it'll do for a test. I'm not going to leave the batteries in the remote or anything. The idea of this is I paid $25 roughly for this remote, and the idea is I want to actually flip the amplifier for 4 or 5 times what I paid for it. I only paid 20 for the amp, 25 for this, that's 45. If I can get 100 back for it, bonza. And I shouldn't have dropped that, that was not healthy for it. So let's just have a look. Oh yeah, the LED is illuminating as I'm pushing buttons. So even though it had broken bits of plastic in there, it still appears to work. And you'll notice that some of the buttons you push, the flash rate is different. That's just how the infrared receiver in the amplifier knows which button you've pressed by the number of pulses and the timing between the pulses. So I'll put the amplifier up on the desk and we'll have a play around. And the other thing I want to test also is I want to test the HDMI output of the amplifier, see if we get some on-screen text. Got a HDMI monitor here, which I actually purchased today, believe it or not, from the tip shop at South Hobart for 22 bucks, and it works fine. It's just an ASUS. So now I've got to find where the HDMI output is. Let's see, that one there. Now, let's see if the remote operates the unit. I'll press the on button. Beautiful. Now I can't see anything on the monitor yet. Oh, there it goes. We can see that the on-screen display is working. It's picking up a channel, but there's no antenna connected and there's no speakers connected. Let's see what happens when I pressed another input. That was the DVD input. There's nothing on the screen. Well, there is now. So next button is VCR iPod, and that just changes to the game input on this machine. VX, which is at the front input. Extension in button does nothing. Nothing else seems to be doing anything. Dimmer switch just changes the brightness of the display. We can change the surround type from DTS, multi-channel stereo, which I'll probably put that on shortly, virtual mode, direct mode, and stereo mode. Okay, so let's go back to the tuner, and I'll press some buttons. Well, I'll press 1, the display changed. Oh, there it goes, it just takes a while for the video to update. Press 2, 3. Yeah, it's taking a long time to update. Wow, that's slow. The display at the front says 93.9. The monitor says 92.10. Okay. Keep going up. It appears to be functional, although it still says now playing is channel A1, which is not correct. Oh, that's nice. I pressed the channel button and I can select it that way. Hit that button. Yeah. Well, so far so good. So I need to do two things. Because there's no manual tuning button on this remote and there's none on the front panel, it does have an auto setup. But what I want to do first is I want to actually clear the memory and reset the microprocessor in here, so it goes back to factory defaults. And the way we do that is we turn it off, and on the dot control you've got a reverse play search and a forward play search. You hold the power button down and these two buttons at the same time for a few seconds. And then once the display stops flashing, you can let it go. Or maybe I'll just do that. One of the two. Okay, so now the unit should have been reset. I'll go back to the tuner, and now the frequencies have changed. I'll go, yeah, I can't remember how to use the front panel now. I'll just hit buttons. Yeah, it's all just completely reset. The frequencies that were there are no longer there. So what I have to do is hook up an antenna of some sort to both the FM and the AM antenna inputs, just to verify that the auto configuration will also pick up the AM channels, because when I did this yesterday it only received the FM because I only had that antenna connected. Alright, got an AM antenna hooked up. It's not mine, I can't find where I've put it, so I'm borrowing one off of another unit. And I've just got a long bit of lead in the FM antenna socket. So, in order to auto tune this, I need to go into auto preset. There we go. There we go. Complete. Get out of that channel. Got a bunch of found a couple of AM stations, but I don't think they're real. And yeah, it doesn't look like it's picked up anything on the AM, which is why I'd need a manual tuning function. So that's unfortunate. Okay, so apart from the AM not working, I'm going to test the other outputs. So I'm going to stick it into multi-channel stereo, and I'm going to leave it on the radio. See if I get an output on each relevant channel. Okay. Okay, got an output there, output there, there's an output there, output there, output there. Yes, all the channels are working. Well, I'm satisfied with that. Let's try the bass. +6. Yeah, it's doing something. Treble. Perfect. Nice. Okay, so it appears to all be working fine. So now I can advertise it and sell it. So cool. Anyway, this is the Astro 3 saying I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to comment, like and subscribe below. And I'll catch you in the next video. This is the Astro 3 saying see ya. Have a great day. Denon.